was this research aimed to do?
Yeah, so I work predominantly in maternal health and how maternal health impacts pregnancy outcomes and the health of the future generations. And so we were looking at an emerging risk factor of obstructive sleep apnea and we were proposing a trial that looked at whether identification and treatment of obstructive sleep apnea would improve pregnancy outcomes, in particular hypertension, pre-eclampsia, and potentially even pregnancy loss and stillbirth.
So, real research which has the potential to save lives.
Yeah, a well-powered, high-quality randomised trial coming out of Australia and led by an early career researcher by myself that would have, really immediate impacts on clinical practice, both here and internationally, and potentially answer some really important questions about how we can make things better for women and their infants and their families.
Is there any other research that is similar to that that's underway in Australia, or was this quite at the sort of vanguard?
Yeah, no, this was quite unique and new, and it was unique for a few reasons. So there aren't trials like this ongoing in Australia currently, and we really don't have any trials assessing whether we should be identifying and treating sleep apnea in pregnancy. In particular, we were taking a particularly consumer-first view. So we were attempting to make all of our interventions using really new technologies as easy for women to access and use as possible. And the intervention was actually to work with women to determine what intervention for their sleep apnea might work best for them out of a group of 3 so that they were more likely to use it and get benefit from it. So it was taking a very different view to usual trials around addressing sleep apnea.
So when you get the news that you're not successful and you know that literally there's money in the bank, and we don't really have a great explanation as to why there's the cap, or at least some sort of, the $650 million cap, how does that make you and your research team feel, knowing that the research you're doing is not just a nice to have, it's almost a must have?
Yeah, it was really disappointing. I think it was an incredible experience putting the grant together, definitely, and building that team of really experienced and able researchers, and knowing that should we get funded, we could turn around and do this and start this whole process straight away and put together a really high quality trial. And so it was really disappointing when we got that outcome. Particularly as an early career researcher, it's really tricky to build that track record, and so opportunities as an early career researcher are slim, and
it's also slim for early career researchers and female early career researchers.
Absolutely.
Right? It's sort of the double whammy.
Yeah, well, I'm a female early career researcher researching females, so there's a lot of whammies there, but it was one that we really had to turn around and pick ourselves up from and go, well, where do we go here from next?
So what would your message be to government if Mark Butler was sitting here now? He's actually a South Australian, you're a South Australian. What would your message be, given that your research is so critical to actually saving lives?
Yeah, I'd say, look, you know what? I've got a great trial. Can I have the money to do it? And I'd also say that really high quality, well-powered, well-done clinical trials are just slim on the ground, and groups that can put that together and can justify the money for that are also relatively few. So I think there's real opportunity here that was lost.